Next, in March of 2021, I had a full checkup done. Well, naturally, 6 months had passed since my illness. I was just curious. And basically, since I monitor my health, and I've always had high cholesterol, always, no matter what I did, what I took, or what diet I followed, it was always high. So anyway, I'm taking Synthesit, just taking it regularly. I like how it feels, you know. Here's what I want to say. So I go for a blood chemistry test, cholesterol, lipid profile, AST, ALT, D-dimer, fibrinogen, well, basically everything. Iron, and anemia, of course, which I've also always had.
Always, as in your whole life?
Yes.
Since your first test?
Well, basically, yes. I mean, my hemoglobin has always been a bit low. I take iron supplements, like in the past, for example, and it would improve somewhat. But on its own, no, that anemia was always there. And, you know, I was so surprised, honestly. I mean, when I saw the results, my AST and ALT, those markers that are very serious, they were perfect. My ALT and AST, I don't recall exactly, I don't have the results here, but they were always 10 units higher. It wasn't critical, but still. This time they were well within the normal range. Up to 35, I think. I don't remember exactly. I don't have it in front of me. Cholesterol was perfect, all those atherogenic indexes. It's just, honestly, iron, fibrinogen, specifically, not just iron, but the fibrinogen that, well, I won't get too technical, but it's related to that. Everything was just perfect. D-dimer, C-reactive protein. So all those biochemical markers, all those various details, everything was ideal. Honestly, truly, 6 months after that whole period of being sick.
Yes, let me explain for the viewers. Dear audience, ALT and AST, which Valentina Viktorovna mentioned, are the key indicators of our liver function. So when the liver is struggling, when there are pathological processes, including with age as we get older, ALT and AST levels increase. So elevated ALT and AST levels indicate that the liver is not functioning well. This happens with cirrhosis, hepatitis, fatty liver disease, and many other disorders as well. In many pathological states, our liver suffers because it's a massive filter that processes everything happening in the body. And one of the properties of Synthesit is that it restores, as you just heard, all blood chemistry parameters, including these liver enzymes, AST, ALT, and cholesterol levels, also return to normal. These findings were also confirmed in primates. We conducted studies on monkeys where, after 1 month of taking Synthesit, up to a 30% reduction in these elevated markers was observed. The monkeys were old, so to speak, an age that is equivalent to about 70 years in human terms. So after a month of taking Synthesit, their ALT, AST, cholesterol, and sugar levels too, yes, they all decreased. And now Valentina Viktorovna is actually sharing and showing these examples from her own experience, meaning after 6 months of use, you can achieve these kinds of real results.
Yes.
And I will, of course, ask you, since you seem so genuinely happy and everything is going so well for you right now, I'll go ahead and ask you to please send me those materials, your test results specifically. I assume you have them on hand, right?
Yes, of course.
Send them over and we can cross out your last name if you'd like. Or if you prefer, we won't, so everyone can see who this brave hero is. Yes, and so in this video, we'll just attach these tests and show the before and after, as they say, because it was very clear. Dear viewers, Valentina has sent in her test results. We have results from 2020 and from 2021. I've arranged them here in the program specifically so that everything is clear and visible. As they say, you can check and compare them later if you're interested. The ones in red from 2020, I'll remind you that this was her condition even before her illness. These results that we see highlighted in red here are the tests that fall outside the normal range. Accordingly, as Valentina mentioned regarding cholesterol, everything is glowing red there. Hemoglobin is outside the norm and things related to red blood cells are also highlighted. And let's compare those with the results from after the illness in 2021. So she hadn't taken Synthesit before, she started during her illness, as she said, and then she got tested. Let's take a look. Right here, I've listed the latest data from those top tests from 2020. We can compare them now. Let's see, for example, the hemoglobin itself. Previously in 2020, the hemoglobin was 112. That is not normal. The norm is from 120 to 140. On March 17th, 2021, we see that the test is already at 118. And on March 22nd, she was tested again. Hemoglobin returned to normal at 128. we see the same thing with the mean corpuscular volume. So while it was previously 2.9 units below the norm, which was from 80 to 100, she was at 77.1, but after the illness while taking Synthesits, first the hemoglobin rose to 83.8, and on March 22nd, it rose to 84.1 units. These are overall very good results. The same applies for mean corpuscular hemoglobin. This particular value was actually below normal. We see it was 25.6 in the year 2020, with a normal range of 27 to 34. And then on March 22nd, 2021, we see it increased to 27.8, meaning the average hemoglobin content in a single erythrocyte is now back to normal. And it's the same story with the hematocrit. We can see that previously the hematocrit was below the normal range. The norm is up to 36, you see, or rather 36 to 42, and it was 33.7. And now, on March 22nd, 2021 is 38.7. This is a wonderful result, especially after the illness she mentioned, that trendy disease. These test results usually worsen. I mean, that's what always happens. Everything related to ferritin, hemoglobin, and erythrocytes, it all takes a hit. Why? Because this disease primarily damages the blood and the hematopoietic system. We also had some data from Valentina regarding her cholesterol levels. We see that with a norm of 5.17, her total cholesterol was previously 6.16, which is over a full unit higher. And it's almost back to normal now. In 2021, we see it's at 5.39, right? The same goes for cholesterol. LDL is back to normal, reaching 3.51, with the norm being 2.59 to 4.11. The current value is 3.51 for 2021 after the illness. Back in 2020, it exceeded the norm. And the atherogenic index, which reflects the overall cholesterol status, is now normal at 2.8, within the 0 to 3.5 range. The previous value was right at the upper limit of the normal range. Valentina also mentioned her ALT and AST levels. Unfortunately, she didn't include those in the initial tests. Those results aren't there. But we can take a look at the results for 2021 right here. ALT. It's 8, which is normal within the 0 to 55 range. And AST is also normal, closer to the upper limit but still within the norm. She said this result is usually much higher for her, at least 10 units higher, as Valentina mentioned. These are very important results, very interesting and clear results. I think many of you will find this information quite useful. Valentina, thank you very much, and we'll continue watching the video. Okay, wonderful. That's an excellent result. Is there anything else besides the test results?
I just wanted to mention something about my husband. To be honest, we're also, well, in such a pleasant, I don't even know, state of shock. I'm not even sure what word to use to describe it. We're so pleasantly surprised because he used to have a bald spot. Well, you know, like that. But he wasn't really self-conscious about it at all. I mean, men usually take that kind of thing in stride. But honestly, when we saw it, you know, it was like a miracle. You have to try it, you know? It's worth 1,000 words. You just have to go ahead and try it for yourself. And right where he had that bald spot on his head, can you imagine? I'm cutting his hair and I see it. I can actually see it myself. Nobody told me. And he has these tiny little hairs growing there. Fuzz. It's like shock content, really.
Fuzz started appearing fuzz.
Yes, Fuzz. Yes. Can you imagine? And now every time he's like, well, is there more? I say, you've got a whole braid there? A braid?
Yes. On that note, I'll explain now, dear viewers, those watching us, especially for the first time, especially those who haven't taken Synthesit. We recently held, so to speak, training for pharmacologists, for pharmacists, yes, even for frontline pharmacists, for those people who receive and sell medications in pharmacies directly, explaining what Synthesit is. And so the training is coming to an end, and there they are sitting with their eyes wide open, and they're laughing like, well, that can't be possible, they say. And the most important thing, dear viewers, what do you need to understand? Exactly what Valentina Viktorovna started with. Synthesit restores all blood parameters. Blood is our primary fluid, which brings oxygen to organs and tissues, which nourishes organs and tissues. It's the main sub. If we don't have blood, yes, if a person loses blood, an injury, blood leaves, we die. If an artery is compressed, yes, air, oxy, blood stops flowing to the brain, we fall asleep, yes. If compressed longer, suffocation occurs and we die. Blood is our foundation. Therefore, when the blood is good, when the blood is functional, when all its parameters are normal, when it has enough oxygen, then the whole body recovers. And that's why Synthesit has such a comprehensive effect. Synthesit doesn't cure anything. Synthesit is by no means a panacea. Synthesit simply helps the body restore blood characteristics, and this is followed by the restoration of all body parameters. That's why it affects digestion, the cardiovascular system, the reproductive sphere, yes, and hair and skin, and the excretory system. Synthesit affects everything, all systems, from the tips of the hair to the very heels, including the skin, as they say. Hair grows faster for some, hair starts growing where it had stopped growing. Again, I say for some, it's not a fact that your hair specifically will start growing, because it's, well, for some the hair darkens. Today is the 18th, I'll be posting a video review where an old lady, 91 years old, she's happy.
Can I just, yes, the hair darkened, yes. Just otherwise I'll just forget. I have so many such positive moments and emotions regarding Synthesit directly. My husband, well, I don't know, his hair was, there was a bald spot and gray hair mixed with his own. It was mostly gray hair, so he was practically whitish, well, sort of pale. You see? And now we're just obsessed with this bald spot. We're constantly checking it, counting every hair there. And I say, listen, Dima, have you noticed that you have less gray hair? It's darkened. And he says, listen, really? Well, it's true. That's the truth. Yes.
But this effect, it's rare. So about the hair, right? So that, yeah, they stopped.
There's less gray hair. There's less of it now. Specifically gray hair.
I see, yes. I want to tell the viewers that the fact your hair stopped falling out is 100%. Yes, Synthesit affects that. Hair and nails will grow better 100% and their quality will improve. But new hair appearing and gray hair decreasing is kind of rare, but it happens rarely. So we are witnessing such a case right now. Another one, we already have such reviews on our channel.
Well, it's a fact.
Because some people just start buying Synthesit and go, oh, my hair isn't really getting darker, and they start getting upset. Dear viewers, this is...
yeah.
First of all, Synthesit affects the hematopoietic system. That's where all the effects come from. Hair is cosmetic, which may or may not happen. That's the thing. Alright, I've made my introduction. If you have anything else to add.
I just want to, I don't know, recommend it, or just really, instead of 1,000 words, guys, just try it.
Good. And dear viewers, Valentina Viktorovna shared a great example, but there's one small catch. Look, she only started taking it when things got bad. Yeah, until then she didn't start, even though her husband was already taking it.
I was just observing.
Yes, he felt the result. There was a result, an effect. She saw it on her husband, studied something there. But until things got bad, look, don't let yourself get to that state. Take Synthesit in advance. Always keep a spare bottle at home, just in case something happens, God forbid. Yes, a spare bottle.
Oh, and can I say one more thing? Can I add something else? We tried your new product, the elixir, which is now in drops.
Yes.
Here it is, my husband. Well, we bought it as soon as it came out. As soon as you released it, we, yes, bought it. So yes, we're testing it too, yes. And we always have a couple of bottles in reserve.
Good, yes. You can have both on hand, basically. The elixir works faster. It goes straight into the blood under the tongue.
Well, immediately, yes, yes.
All right, thank you for the interview. I wish you health so that your tests always stay normal and reach whatever desired parameters you wish for. And thank you very much once again for the interview.
Thank you.
Yes, dear viewers, if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to our social media. All the best. Goodbye.
All the best. Goodbye.